Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today, guys. All right, so there's a few different things that I am looking at on the Dogecoin chart, like two different patterns, should I say. We had a nice little run up like this, and then we were bouncing in between these two trend lines, something like that. So we had resistance, resistance, support, support, support. So I was kind of looking at like a flag pattern, kind of. I don't know, it's not a perfect flag pattern, but we had a run up and then we had consolidation like this. I was waiting for a breakout to the upside once. Well, so we had resistance, resistance, support, 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 a run. I was waiting for us to break this top line right here, which we did right here. And after that, we got a nice green candle pushing to the upside. So one of the targets that I was looking at is if we drag from the bottom of that pole to the top, something like that, and then drag that to the breakout, that takes us up to this target right here at around .234. So that's one of the targets that I was looking at. And let's go ahead and delete that right now because that's kind of, I mean, just to clear things up. And then the other thing I was looking at, I'm on the daily time frame right now, and let me drag this over here because this is also what I was looking at. So we had kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. We had a shoulder, we had a head, and then we had another shoulder, kind of. Basically, we had a resistance line right here, though. Resistance, 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 resistance. We had this line right here. And I was thinking if we could break that line going to the upside, then maybe we can target from the top to the bottom of that head to that neckline, drag this to the breakout, something like that. And that gives us that second target of around .22933, somewhere around there. The other thing I've been talking about though in general is if we break this Fibonacci retracement level sitting at around 185 approximately, it's a little bit lower than that, maybe .183, somewhere around there. Right when we broke that though, check out that green candle. We got a nice big green candle going to the upside. We closed this candle, got another green candle and pushed up. I was kind of worried that we were going to get pushed, like we were going to push up and then kind of fall back down right here. So I was kind of like skeptical on making a video, but I think the next kind of place that we're looking at are these two targets and or this Fibonacci retracement level. Like I was just saying, we broke through this .185 Fibonacci retracement level, and if we break through one of them, the next thing that I'm looking at is the next one going to the upside. And let's see what happens if we come up here, if we start getting resistance and start pushing down, or if we could break through that. If we could break through that, then the next one that I'd be looking at is around .294. But I think there's still a few different little things that we have to get past right here. Like we got past this resistance, came up, got resistance, got pushed down, came up, got resistance right here, and it got pushed down. So I think we need to break through this, and we kind of already are, but not, I don't know, we're still kind of struggling at this area right here at this previous resistance, sitting at around .2006. If we could break through that, then the next spot that I'm going to be much more confident on is .248. I do think we're looking pretty good though. It's like I've been saying, we had if you've been watching my videos, well, the ones that I was making, we had a falling wedge, boom, 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 boom. We broke that falling wedge. I was thinking we might have to go sideways for a little while and then we could start pushing back to the upside, kind of like what we did last year where we had a falling wedge, boom, 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 broke that resistance line going up, but we kind of went sideways for a little bit, and then we were able to actually push up pretty hardcore. The other thing, so that was a good sign. I mean, I feel like that was a good thing. I'd been kind of waiting for us, and I'd been talking about it. Maybe we need to go sideways, let the weekly 9 moving average catch up to us, break above it, get support on it, and then we could start pushing back to the upside. And that's kind of what we did, and we'll look at the weekly 9 moving average here in a second. Let me get rid of this because that shouldn't be there. So yeah, the fact that we had this falling wedge and then we broke that right here, at least going sideways, we broke that resistance anyways right here. I think this was the first signal that was a good sign for us, for Dogecoin, should I say. Let's talk about the weekly 9 moving average real quick. Let me delete a lot of this stuff because we already kind of talked about it. That's that target. There's that target. There's that pattern. There's that support line. The main thing we'll look at right now is the 9 moving average on the weekly time frame. This blue line right here, somewhere around there. I mean, I didn't trace it perfect, that one, but basically I've been talking about this for the past, probably all this area right here, ever since probably like March, I think. Is that, like I was saying, I wanted the 9 moving average to come down. Or, okay, so we had the falling wedge, right? We broke that falling wedge going sideways. I was thinking maybe we need to go sideways, let the 9 moving average come down, because in this area we are still clearly below it. And let me just back up. So when we break above the weekly 9 moving average, then, and we close the candle, and then we come down and get support on it, that's a good sign. Generally, breaking the 9 moving average going to the upside is a good sign. When we break below the 9 moving average, like right here, let's see, we have that blue line right here. We broke below it right here, and ever since then we were like testing it, getting resistance right on that line right there. So we were getting resistance, and it pushed us to the downside. This is what I've been waiting for over here, though. The past like 2 weeks have been like, I've been kind of thinking that it's a good sign, because we have this blue line right here. We broke the weekly 9 moving average on this candle. We closed this candle above the 9 moving average as opposed to staying below it, getting resistance on it. This next candle, we came down and retested it, stayed above that weekly 9 moving average. And then this next week, or this week that we're on right now, we got a nice pump to the upside. We're finally using it as support as opposed to it acting as resistance to this whole area right here. Right here, we're starting to get some good green candles. We got a green candle right there. Basically, we're just holding support on that 9 moving average, though, which is a good sign in my opinion. Let's see if we can continue to push up. We do have resistance right here, giving us this line. This might give us some trouble, but let's see if we can push past it. In general, let's go back to the daily. I think that's a good sign, though, the weekly 9 moving average. And I've been talking about that we needed to go sideways so the 9 moving average could catch up to it. We could ease into the weekly 9 moving average, start getting support on it, and then maybe we can start getting a bounce to the upside. Maybe we could get a little bit more bullish. But oh yeah, the falling wedge. So we had the falling wedge, right? When we break the falling wedge going to the upside, technically the targets are the resistances. So we have something like that. So once we break this level going up, then we start looking at the middle of it, like the middle resistances and the top. The full target, like if this falling wedge could really perform, then the top of the falling wedge is the target, which is around 0.414, somewhere around there. So let's see if we could really push back up there. Like I said, we have this line that might give us some trouble. We have resistance giving us this trend line. Let's see if we can let's see what happens when we come into this trend line right here. And then the other thing I was talking about is the Fibonacci retracement levels. We had a big, huge run going to the upside. When was this? When did this start? Like last year in October. We had a big, huge run. We started having trouble, kind of double topped out. We set up there was a little trend like that. We broke that trend going to the upside. This was the sign that we were going down. And ever since then, I've been dollar cost averaging on the way down, something like that. And okay, so we had the big, huge run, right? We started topping out. We get the Fibonacci retracement level. If we think we're getting a correction, we drag from the top to the bottom, and we could do this on any chart, not just Dogecoin. And then that gives us levels to watch as it goes down. Like I said, I've been dollar cost averaging on these levels going down. Just as we break them, or like they act as support and resistance. So we came down, found support, got resistance, got support, got resistance, came down, got support, resistance, kind of support. I mean, we've been kind of holding at this level. We've been this level, what is it, like the 78% level? This 78% level, 0.185 basically, has been kind of acting as resistance all through this area. Every time we come into, every time we get close to that level, it kind of holds us down. Right now, like I was saying, we broke that Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside. So when we break them going to the upside, we look at the next one going up. When we break them going to the downside, we look at the next one going down. So like we broke this one going down right here. We found some support on it, got a bounce. It came down, broke through it, started looking at the next one. Once we broke this one, I started looking at this next one. I still have a limit order here down here, by the way. That's just it's just because I haven't pulled it out yet, but I probably should and put it on this breakout. But okay, so what was I talking about? The Fibonacci retracement levels, basically. So we broke that Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside, and when we break them going up, then especially when we close the candle and we get another green candle pushing up, the next target that I'll be looking at is the next Fibonacci retracement level, sitting at around 0.248. So I think I'm targeting 0.248. The only thing that we have to do is just get past this resistance now. We kind of broke past this one. So yeah, and then we have that daily kind of inverse head and shoulders right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Not a perfect shoulder in this one, but basically the main thing that I was watching is this resistance. We came up, got resistance, formed a trend line, boom, reinforced it over here, broke through it right here, and then we started seeing some green candles. Yesterday, Dogecoin was outperforming like all the crypto that I watch. But that takes me to the next point. Let's take a look at Bitcoin or Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin real quick, because this is looking pretty decent too. There was a couple like different little patterns, not patterns, but like trend lines that I'm watching. Basically, this is the Dogecoin to Bitcoin chart. So if this chart is going down, it's good for Bitcoin. If it's going up, then it's good for Dogecoin. So just keep that in mind. We had resistance. This was that falling wedge pattern on the daily, I think. And on the regular Dogecoin chart, we broke that resistance going up right here, but we kind of went sideways for a little bit. Now I was looking at this resistance and this resistance giving me this trend line. We broke that trend line right here, pushing to the upside. And I think this was yesterday where I was saying that it was outperforming everything. We got that nice run to the upside. So let's go ahead and delete these because we kind of broke them. And I mean, that one we could probably leave, but we're just to like concentrate on what's happening right now. So the next thing that I was looking at is this resistance and this resistance giving me this trend line. We broke this trend line going to the upside, and it looks like we're kind of outperforming right now Bitcoin. So this little run right here, like I was saying, if it's going down, you'd rather be in Bitcoin. If it's going up, you'd rather be in Dogecoin. The other thing that I'm kind of looking at is if we zoom out a little bit, we have resistance right here, giving us this trend line, something like that. Let's see if we could come up, test this resistance, break through it, then we could really start seeing some good moves from Dogecoin. I'm very curious if we're going to come up to this line and get rejected on it, or if we're going to be able to break through it. Those are some of the things that I'm watching, though. This happened something like last year, though, too, where we had a resistance like this, and then we had like resistance like this, but we actually so we broke this one right here, and then we broke this one right here, and that's when we really started taking off. So that's what I'm saying. So maybe it'll be something similar where we have this resistance. If we could break through this big resistance right there, then maybe we can really start pushing. We do have this 180 moving average right here that might give us some trouble if we pop through it. So we might just not go to like the moon right away, but yeah. And I also noticed that with the regular Dogecoin chart. I'm on the daily right now. We have this weekly 9 moving average, right? What is it? The daily 180 moving averages as opposed to the 9 moving average. The 9 moving average is smaller time frame average. It's that blue line, but we have the 180 moving average, which also comes into play. I like looking at that one as well. Not always, but sometimes. Because basically we could come into contact with that and give us trouble. And that kind of lines up with that resistance right there. The 180 moving average and this line, this area right here is sitting at around 0.282. So this could be another potential area that might give us some trouble, get resistance on, and push to the downside. Like I said, though, I'm watching the Fibonacci retracement levels very closely. If we break this one going up, I'm looking at the next one, which I talked about. I'm looking at that one right now at around 247. If we could break this one going up, then the next spot that I'd be looking at is around 296, which lines up with this resistance, lines up with this 180 moving average. So this could be like the next target, or this could be where we kind of like start having trouble and start pushing back to the downside. But if we break these Fibonacci retracement, once we break them, sometimes then they could act as support. We broke it right here. Maybe if we come back down, it'll act as support and push us back up. Maybe we could break up through here. If we do break this, then maybe it'll act as support and we'll get a bounce like that or something like that. Maybe it'll give us something to test again, like as support, kind of like the weekly 9 moving average where we broke above it. Let's go back to that weekly. Sorry, this is a lot, but I haven't really been, keeping you guys in the loop. But we have this 9 moving average right here. We broke above that, tested it, boom, we broke above that. Now previous resistance is turning into support. Hopefully it is in these 2 candles anyways. We came down, tested it, found support in it, stayed in this area right here. Next candle got support on it and bounced to the upside. So basically the same thing with the Fibonacci retracement levels. If we could break through them, then maybe they'll act as support instead of resistance, kind of like it's been acting as resistance right here. Now we're breaking above it. Maybe it'll act as support right now. Maybe we could break through this one, find support, and then push to the upside. I don't know. We'll see. But the next spot that I'm kind of looking at is .248, just based on the Fibonacci retracement levels purely. And I'm also looking at I'm kind of hoping, but I'm kind of also looking at this area up here, like I talked about. We had that falling wedge pattern. We broke that falling wedge to the upside. Technically, the target on a falling wedge pattern is the top of the pattern. So maybe somewhere around here at around .394. The top over here is somewhere around .415. We have if we can continue past these, then the next spot that I'd be looking at is the top of the Fibonacci retracement level, sitting at the Fibonacci retracement box at around .485. If we start breaking through there, then we're going to have to zoom out and look at other previous resistances, something like that. I have that red line sitting at around .739, which is the previous all-time high. If we could break through this top, then maybe we can start looking at this one up here. But we're kind of a far way off from that. We have a lot of things that we have to deal with in the meantime. But yes, those are some of the targets and levels that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin. Those trend lines, if we start breaking those trend lines, that's a good sign for Dogecoin. And we already kind of are, but there's a couple more that we have to get through. Actually, just like one more, but let's see, we could probably even, we already looked at that one, kind of something like that. We just broke through that one as well. But if we could break through this trend line on Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin, maybe we can really start seeing some big moves, kind of like we did last year. When we started breaking these trends last year, that's when I really got confidence. Like I was like, okay, and we're even kind of doing it right now, but we're still underneath this resistance. And like I said, we had this little falling wedge. We broke that right here. We have this little resistance right there. We broke that right there. We need to break this next resistance like that. Then we could even get more confident. I think these two, like breaking that and then breaking this. Sorry. We have this little falling wedge. Broke that. That's good. Now we have this little line. Broke that. That's good. If we could break through this, that's going to be even better, possibly. Kind of like we did right here. Boom. Like I said, we had like a little falling wedge, broke that going sideways. Then we got a little resistance right here, a little straight line, broke that. That's when we really started flying. So let's see if we can start doing that. But I do think Dogecoin is kind of, showing some signs of life again. We came down, hit these orange lines, got support on those, and kind of been bouncing on that area ever since. And that was these previous supports right here. So I'm looking at previous supports. I'm looking at previous resistances. Back here even, something like that. So I'm just hoping that you guys can take some of these skills and look at other charts and see what's going on with other charts. But that's basically what I'm looking at. Dogecoin was outperforming a lot of stuff yesterday, so good sign for Dogecoin. Let's see if we can continue this bullish momentum and push to the upside. Like I said, I'm probably targeting .248 for right now. Let's see if we can keep that momentum going. All right, if you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you're new to trading, check out this playlist, or new to looking at charts, check out this playlist. Help get you started on TradingView. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one, guys.